Hey everyone, Dan at Bushcraft with fantastic news. Fire season is over. Fire season ended just a few days ago as the fall rains finally arrived. I have been out here for about 3 hours now. It has been just continuous non-stop rain. I actually got out here an hour and a half before daylight and went on a night walk testing out some headlamps. But yeah, it's non-stop rain, and I got a small tarp over my head, and we're gonna do fire. I mean, that is what we're gonna do. This whole video, we're just gonna make a fire, because I gotta tell you, if you're like me and you like to go out and camp or do bushcraft, you know, spend time in the outdoors, when fire season comes, all of those months where you cannot have fire, you can't warm yourself by a fire, sleep by a fire, cook with a fire, make tools with your fire, it's downtime for me. And come August, and September, I just want it to end. I want to be able to have my fires. So first fire of the 2025 fall winter season right now. We're gonna go gather resources. I'll show you what I've got so far, and I'm gonna do my best, guys. My camera will be out in the rain. Right now it's under the tarp, but once it is out in the rain, I'm gonna have to be really careful, because too much rain will shut it down. If it messes up the visual a little bit, I'm sorry. We'll get it cleaned off when we get back under the tarp, but I wanna take you guys with me. Go get some resources and have fire. Ah, thank you, fire. Okay, before we go out, I have just cleared out a spot. Again, everything is just completely soaked, and gathered up some rocks and laid down 3 small broken branches from the ground. That will be to elevate my fire, because you do not want to put your tinder and your fire starting material on the wet ground. It's just going to sit there and smoke and soak up the moisture. Even if the pieces of wood are wet, elevate it so airflow can get underneath, and that is going to generate a much hotter, faster, and cleaner burning fire. All right, let's go get resources. Okay guys, I'm about 50 yards up the hill from where I'm going to do my fire, where my tarp's set up, and beautiful piece of fatwood. I've done a lot of videos. You find an old root wad like this, and it's solid fatwood. And I've already cut off a couple pieces. Get some more here. Oh man, that is just straight resin, and it's wet on the outside, but it's damp on the inside. And if you can see that dark in there, that is just straight pitch, the gasoline of the forest. Oh, that piece is even darker. Fantastic. Well, I've got a couple pieces already. I think I'll cut one more. Let's see, this piece right there looks good. Fatwood in wintertime and fall, when the rains are coming and everything's getting wet, is your best friend for getting a fire to start burning fast and hot. We're going to process that down here in a little bit, at least one piece of it. All right, we do not gather our wood from the ground where it's completely soaked with rain, but we find dry branches on the side of a tree, and I want to get some small stuff first. So I've got, you can hear that snap, some nice dry fir here. I'm going to grab an armload of that. All right, guys, I'm gonna grab another armload of this. I've got some big stuff actually on the tree that I'm sitting under, and we'll gather up our fat wood and we'll head back down and get our fire started. And just to show you guys, the tree that I got my tarp set up in is, I've already broken off a bunch of dead branches. I've got some large dead branches. And here's another tree right next to it. And you can see back here. So I've got some really large branches to break off for fire. All right, guys, first thing I want to do is process down some of that fat wood. Now, if this was a survival situation, I have cotton balls saturated with petroleum jelly, and I would have just broke off some limbs, got my cotton ball in there, lit it, and got my fire going. But it's not. So I'm just enjoying practicing some skills that I haven't got to do for several months because of fire season. So out gathering resources, and fat wood is just one of those skills. And I've got my little Grand's Force Brook hand hatchet here, and a nice baton, just a piece of wood that I found on the ground that hopefully won't break. So I want to cut this down to something more manageable. All right. So, wow. So if you see inside there, I got all that fat wood, and we're going to use that. It gets a little smaller, I'll switch over to my knife. When I first start out on these, especially if they're big and, you know, hard, and I got to do a lot of pounding, I like to do my hatchet. Yeah, now that's what I'm after right there. There's some real small size. So let me take this back piece off, and then I think we'll switch over to our knife. All right. Wow. So I've got that opened up. I'm going to switch over to my knife now. And get some small pieces of fat wood out of there. Like so. I don't want to lose any of that. That's precious fuel. So I want to get some of these, and maybe make them a little smaller. Oh, that's just going to break on me, but that's fine. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah. So those are just going to take a little bit of flame, and then they're going to get the rest of everything else burning. I'll make some more of those, a few more of those. Oh, that's a little bit hard for my hand. Perfect. Yeah, look at that. That is going to get our fire burning nicely. All right. Come back in just a second, guys. Okay, I got my bandana out, and I've made a nice handful of these small pieces of fat wood. And now I'm going to get some stuff off here that will take a spark. I'm just I put a 90-degree spine. This is my Architect knives, the 5.5, and I have put a 90-degree spine on it. So using my bandana, I'm just going to catch some finer stuff that will take a spark. So that right there. And I want to hurry up and do this and get out of the rain before it gets wet. So I'm not going to make a real big pile and just hope that I get enough. Sounded like maybe a deer or something was up on the hill. Something popped the brush there. So I'm going to make just a few small curls to put in there, and the small shavings, kind of a combination of everything. And then I'll put some more scrapings in there with it. And by the way, fatwood does not curl very easy because of the resin in it. But you can still get some little curls that will just help catch a spark. So guys, it is continuing to rain. I'm going to speed through this and get back over there because all my material is going to be wet if I don't. Okay guys, I'm going to spread my smaller stuff out on top. I'm going to find me a small piece of bark. Okay, just a small piece of bark like this, because I'm going to start my fire over here underneath the tarp. I'm going to get my flames burning in on top of this, and then I'm going to transport it over there so that I'm not out there trying to spark it in the rain. Okay guys, this is going to be a little tricky. I got the camera pointed straight down. As I said, I didn't make a real big pile of this, but I'm up under the tarp now, and I think I've just got enough to catch. But what I'm planning on doing is the second it catches, I'm going to get some of these small pieces of fatwood laid on there, and those should take right off with no problem. So I always have a ferro rod in my pocket. Of course I have it in my pack and stuff, but I don't walk away from camp ever without a ferro rod. This is going to be a little tricky. There we go. Come on, burn, 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 burn. Can you guys see that? All right, let's get some of these little pieces of fatwood on there. I'll make a little tiny log cabin if you guys can see that. Okay, perfect, perfect, exactly what I wanted. Okay, those are going to go ahead and get burning good. I'm going to readjust the camera so you guys can see me transport this over to the fire. Yeah, take off and burn. Excellent. Again, fatwood, just, it is my absolute go-to out here when it is winter and rainy and snowy. Okay, I'm trying not to get burned here. Let's get this over here. I kind of put it, I made like a V out of those branches, and I'm going to pull that little V up, but I'm going to get in a couple more pieces of those fatwood first. There we go. Excellent. And you see that flame coming up through there. That is because everything's elevated and the oxygen is getting up underneath of it. So that, I don't know if you guys could hear me over there, but what I was saying was, because everything's elevated and sitting on top of those three larger branches, the oxygen flow is going up underneath and the flame is coming up through. If it was sitting on the ground right now, I would be having to fight it for a while to get it to burn, but it's taken right off because it's got lots of airflow underneath, driving the heat and the flames up through the wood that I'm putting on top. And then as it gets going, coals will drop down and start to burn the bigger pieces that are down low. You've seen my upside down fire videos. So I'm gonna feed this for a few and bring you guys back. That is awesome, guys. That is just fantastic. Finally, fire season to be over, and I can come out and enjoy fire. This one's starting to put out some nice heat now. It's still got lots of airflow coming up underneath, and of course those three bigger pieces underneath are going to start burning pretty soon, and I'm putting some bigger stuff on top. So stay tuned for the next video, because we're not done yet. I'm out here spending the day just enjoying fire season. I'm going to keep gathering wood and feeding this, but I haven't had anything to eat or drink or anything yet other than water. Let's make a dingle stick and have some hot cocoa. So stay tuned for the next video. I'm gonna end this one right here and right now. Beautiful fire, and go down and gather resources and take you guys with me, and we'll do another video. I have an older video where I made a dingle stick, but you know, it's been a couple years now. It's far back enough where a lot of people haven't seen it, and I think it'd be cool to bring you guys along and refresh your memories for those who have seen it. Make a dingle stick, cook some cocoa over the fire.